Daily Broadside, day 401. It's currently 9 o'clock. I had planned to leave the house at like 7:20 this morning. And the reason I'm leaving now is because I stumbled upon this hilariously intriguing thing called, I think it's called The Button. Best I can tell, it's called The Button. And it's a speed dating YouTube show, I guess. I don't know where it's at. It was on TikTok, so I searched and watched like an hour and a half of them, and it was fascinating. It's a fascinating study into people. So basically, you got two people, you got a room full of women, a room full of men, and they walk in and they got this buzzer in between them. And you can't hit the buzzer to say no to the date or the other person until it turns red. And you got people that'll hit it because you want to try to beat the person to the buzzer if you both don't like each other, because otherwise you're eliminated from the whole game or whatever. And man, some people are blindfolded and some people aren't, and it's fascinating. You got these guys, and as soon as they take off their blindfold, or as soon as they walk in, bam, they're hitting it because the girl's too heavy, or the guys that dork, and they start talking to each other, and it'll be some like Christianity could get them. So you're a Christian? Yes, I am. Click, bang, and they're out, and all this stuff, and some chick with like purple hair will come in, and he'll immediately X her out. And one chick was she was probably the worst of it. She was a model, but she do you have a six-pack? No. Click. Man, if you're just going for dudes with six-packs, I think you're gonna be sadly disappointed, because A, not everybody has the genetics for that, and B, I'd say probably 95% of people don't have one. I mean, everybody has them, but the ones that show. Should be interesting to see how that works out for her. But man, it is such an interesting study in what people would call shallow, For me, women are, I think, God, I hate using the word vibe, but I don't know really a better. There has to be some kind of like energy, like that you enjoy. It's difficult to hang up the phone. You enjoy talking to them because they're so intriguing as a person, and if you couple that with even decent amounts of, physical looks, I'm in. She doesn't have to be Christy Brinkley. Now, I don't want her to look like Billy Crystal's wife in The Princess Bride, and I definitely don't want her to nag me like that. Liar. I hate that movie. Anyway, but, to me, the looks are the first thing that attract everything. And maybe that's a guy thing, I don't know. But I've dated people that weren't the most attractive people, and it's cool because we had a good time and all that. But I was sitting in a mall sometime around my college years, somewhere in there, and the person I was with was doing a bunch of shopping like in the immediate area. I just didn't want, I can't stand watching women look at clothes. It's just, I can't tell you how much that bores me to death, but I love people watching. So I'm just sitting out in the middle of the mall, and I started studying people in a different way that day. And I came to the conclusion that if you were to line up all the people in America that were men, from the ugliest, most hideous looking troll to the best McConaughey looking, Channing Tatum, whatever, whoever, fill in the blank person at the very top, from the least to the best, right? I decided that day that I would fall somewhere in like the 74 to 76 percentile, okay? Now, that may sound really pompous and arrogant, but I think we underestimate how many ugly people there really are in this world, because there's some creatures roaming around out there. And I decided, I'm like, I'm not a McConaughey, but I'm not Todd over there digging in the trash, So that said, I just want somebody that takes care of themselves and is a decent looking person. You know what I mean? But it was funny too, and I can't disagree with them. And every one of them were like, they're all embarrassed, most of them, when they hit that button. They're like, I'm sorry, I just didn't feel a connection. Like, no, you didn't like fat people. That's what that was, just admit it, and I'll admit it. If a girl is pretty in the face and all that, but she's like 240, it's just not for me. I got nothing against. I hope she turns her life around. I hope she takes better care of herself and realizes that, it's just not a good way to live. That's too heavy. We all get heavy when we grow older, I mean, hell, I was 155 pounds when I was, 21, and I'm 185 now. I don't look vastly different, but 30 pounds went somewhere. I don't know where, but maybe I just got denser. Anyway, but, a 240-pound chick is just not for me. Some people would Google and gaga over that. Cool, more power to you. But I wouldn't have a problem saying I'm just not into heavier women, And if that offends her, I think she knows she's heavy. So I don't know what to say to that, But these dudes were like, they were just lying about it, But it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting conversation, and it is kind of cringy at times for some of the things that people would, get rid of somebody and not. I think I saw like 3 people that made it to the second date, which is basically they liked each other and now they get to have a date paid for by the button producers. Oh, and the button talks to you too. So you'll be sitting there and there'll be like a lull in conversation and be like, Dan likes women with big booties, and the girl will be like, oh, do you? And Dan's like, yeah, kinda, thanks, button, It's pretty interesting. And it's the reason that I'm 2 hours behind what I was planning on doing today. But giddy up, comment away, tear me apart. Let me know if I'm wrong on this or if I'm just being shallow like the people on the button. Giddy up.